Lincoln Day is an opportunity for us to commemorate the history and the legacy of Abraham Lincoln and to honor the connection of this area to our 16th president, a leader revered around the world for the characteristics and virtues he developed here during his youth from age 7 to 21. Together we participate in a program of education, inspiration, ceremony, and song. We'll even provide you some fresh air and exercise and promise to get you home in time for the Super Bowl.
We're so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, came through for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Forward, march.
But it seems that one of these days that Abraham was home. There were a bunch of other kids running around the place. Thomas and Sarah, because this was after Nancy's death, Thomas and Sarah had taken off to some type of a church meeting, something that they were doing at that point, and left the kids at home, always dangerous. And it had been wet, and there was mud puddles. How he came into it, I don't know. We always see these somber pictures of Lincoln because in those days, your pictures, you didn't do the smile thing. But you could see the laugh lines on his face everywhere through there. And I could just kind of picture this mischievous grin as he got this wonderful idea of how to prank his parents. And pranks were a big part of pioneer life. And so what he did was very simple. Everybody was barefoot. So he took this kid, ran his feet through the mud puddle, maybe more than one, turned the kid upside down, and let them walk on the ceiling. Muddy footprints. Now, I don't know about you, but if I had done something like that, and my mom would come home, I'd been buried in the backyard. There's no other way around it. But they loved it. Thomas and Sarah just thought it was one of the funniest things through there. And just so you also understand the other side of it, after the prank was over, they'd all enjoyed it, Abraham washed it all down and re-whitewashed the ceiling. Fixed it back. But that was pioneer life. It was a happy life. That type of joy came into his life, and he talked about it over and over. One of the things that he was most known for his presidency, and sometimes to the chagrin of his cabinet, was that he would read comedy to them. He would make jokes. He would tell stories. It was a part of his life. He got that from his father. Thomas was known for telling stories. Thomas was known for having an almost endless supply of anecdotes and jokes and just funny ways of saying things. Matter of fact, the family says that Thomas was better at it than Abraham was. The boy, shaped by the parent, became the man.
Forward, march.
come to Indiana to preach a funeral sermon for his mother. The letter doesn't exist to prove this actually happened, but regardless, the fact remains Grandpa Elkin rode more than 100 miles on horseback from Kentucky to Indiana to see the Lincolns and honor Nancy with a funeral sermon.